Sky's security and defence analyst Michael Clark joins me now. Professor Clark, great to see you as always. Let's touch on the bombing in Zaporizhzhia recently. Was that likely a direct retaliation to the issue on the Crimea bridge?
Yes, it's hard to see that it isn't. It's the most immediate thing that Mr. Putin could do. They've been bombing Zaporizhzhia or lobbing missiles at Zaporizhzhia for 3 or 4 nights, no more last night, and they fall on civilian areas. So repairing the bridge and causing more civilian casualties is all that they can do at the moment. But Putin is under pressure. There's a lot of the Russian media is extremely angry about this, and you can see that there are reports in the Washington Post that President Biden was briefed this week on internal dissent inside the Kremlin. So he's under pressure to do something, and this is the sort of thing that he responds with, certainly in the short term.
Let's touch on the attack on, or the explosion on the bridge to Crimea. Talk through us the significance of that explosion, both logistically for Russia and symbolically.
Yeah, this is a good question, Wilf, because it's all about range. I mean, there have been 3 big attacks in Crimea in the last couple of months. So the attack on Saki Air Base, on the Zankoy ammunition base, Saki Air Base here, the Zankoy ammunition centre here, and the Kerch Bridge. And they're all out of range of the artillery that we know the Ukrainians have got. So the question is, how are they doing it? Now, obviously, there's some special forces involved here, but it's unlikely that these were all sabotaged, bringing explosives only with special forces. It seems possible that there were some missiles involved. The Ukrainians, are not supposed to have the JATACMS, but it looks as if they may well have, because the JATACMS missile, it's a missile that can go 180 miles. It is within range if they fire it within their areas. There's your JATACMS. It looks a bit like an old moon rocket, but it can be fired from a multiple launch rocket system. And normally those systems take either 6 or 12 smaller missiles. You can replace the pod with just one that takes one of those. And that has the sort of warhead, a 500-pound warhead, that would do the sort of damage that we've seen in those areas of Crimea. So if we're all asking the question, how are they doing it? And they're not going to tell us because they might want to do it again. But it seems to be a mixture of sabotage and special forces and possibly JATACMS missiles, which they may have got not directly from America, but maybe from Romania and Poland or even Turkey, who America has supplied with these weapons quite recently.
And so what does this mean for the weeks and months ahead? If they do have this sort of capability, does it alter what's likely to come next?
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, these are symbolic hits, no doubt, and they complicate Russia's logistics to Kherson. But we're wondering, the analytical community out there is thinking, is this softening up Russian logistics for something else? I mean, the Ukrainians are attacking in Donetsk. They're moving into Luhansk and they're trying to take back the Donbass. They're doing very well in Kherson. They may well take Kherson in the next few weeks. I mean, they've got 2 big attacks going on which are successful. They have reserves. We know they have reserves, something like 3 brigades worth ready to go, it seems. And how will they use them? That's the question we're all asking ourselves. Is it possible, this is just speculation, but is it possible that they might go south from Zaporizhzhia and try and open up a new corridor to Melitopol, split this land bridge in 2? If they do that before the winter, then the Russians really will be on the run as far as these operations are concerned. That doesn't end the war, but my goodness, the Ukrainians, if that were the case, would go into the winter, as it were, hugely ahead on the ground in this particular warfare situation.
Professor Clark, as always, thanks so much.